We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Joy in My House, inspirational reality show with a touch of recovery. A reality show where nothing is left unsaid.
And no one is insignificant who shares.
I'm joined here by my co-host and recording artist, Lolita Robinson.
How are you doing? I'm very glad to see you. It's been a couple of weeks.
Welcome to another day of Joy in My House.
I'm glad to be here. And how are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. It's been a good...
Okay.
2 or 3 weeks that we haven't done a show. We've been showing some rebroadcasts,
right?
Some of our episodes from a couple weeks ago, which was our Easter special,
right?
But it was good because I'm under so much pressure.
Okay,
and
that's what I thought we should talk about stress for a few minutes.
Yeah, I was
what
going to say that.
Stress can do and pressure. Yeah. How's that looking for you? I mean,
for me, I'm on edge.
Okay,
and you know, first of all, I already have my own issues that I deal with.
Right.
For them to add stress to it, I'm very edgy.
Right.
And if I don't have that time where I'm relaxing or spending time with God,
right,
just some alone time, I get edgy.
Well, he talks about that in the Mark, I believe it's the 4th chapter. It talks about the seeds that are planted. The enemy can use the cares of life to choke it out. And that's what I've really been meditating on. The cares of life can just choke everything out.
Oh, yeah.
You know, worried about, like, I have my mother's car because my car is acting up, and I just had my computer went down, and then my phone died. I mean, just so many things. And God is really teaching me how to just, Friday was just insane because I had to be at work, and everything just collapsed, and I was kind of ministering to this family. And I thought, you know what, Lord, I'm just going to surrender. I'm going to fall into your arms and just let it happen as it happens.
And I can completely
I couldn't
relate.
control a thing. And that, I get panicked when I can't control.
You're preaching to the choir. I felt the same thing.
Right.
I got my tire got flat.
Yep.
So I had to take it into the shop. Well, I fixed the tire. I'm driving home from Ashley's house. It's late. I was falling asleep. I ran into the sidewalk, fixed another tire.
What?
Well, we went to Vegas for one of our friends' weddings.
Right.
We're driving back, and another tire of mine got flat.
What? And this is a brand new car.
It's a brand new car. I mean, I have a lot of miles on it, even though it's brand new.
Oh, boy. That had to have been just that. It's not funny. That had to have really been.
And it's the stress of it. It's not so much even the finances. You know, you pay for it,
the
you
tires,
sacrifice all this, and they're expensive. But it's the distraction.
Right. Exactly.
And then that's when you feel the anxiety. Then the stress comes in.
Yeah.
And then I'm edgy. Then I tell Ashley something, and she's like, "Why are you talking to me like that?" I'm like, "Look, I'm upset."
Right.
And then it just snowballs into something that it wasn't supposed to be.
Right. Right.
But it's also because I'm also not doing my alone time.
Good.
I'm also not focusing on myself.
Glad
I take care of my granddaughter.
Oh, that's a lot.
She comes in. My daughter calls me about 4:30 in the morning because she's driving to my house. Gets there about 5:15, but she's falling asleep as she's driving.
Wow.
So we're on the phone. She gets there, and then I got to go to wake up in a couple of hours to go to work.
Oh yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
So it starts wearing and tearing on me. But again, at the end of the day, what am I doing for me? And right now, it hasn't been much.
Right.
So when I'm not focused on myself, or even my relationship with God,
that's the first thing. Not even just the first.
That's when I get attacked.
Right.
And that's what I've been realizing when it comes to me, is that when I don't have my alone time, I'm very quick to react instead of respond.
Right.
And I think a lot of us out there can relate. We get so caught up in the world.
Yeah.
When a challenge comes, we're so in the world that when a challenge comes, we have nowhere to run.
Yeah, because we feel we have to put on our cape and get in there. I mean, all these Marvel, and I've been into Daredevil, so I'm love it. But you know, you can really get caught into this superhuman, we are the God of our lives, we take care of this stuff. I mean, it's two different kingdoms at war, really. Because in our kingdom, serving God, we're supposed to surrender and let Him take over. We have to do the footwork. But like you said, if we don't spend time with Him, then we become the God of our lives. And you know,
I've been talking about that quite a bit these last 2-3 weeks because I want to control everything.
Right.
And the truth is, I have very little control over
you have
anything.
None other than what to brush your teeth and what to put on, because we don't know what each day is going to bring. So it's been a real hard. It's kind of
challenging.
Yeah.
It's been challenging, but God's still speaking to me, and He still shows me grace, and He shows me favor. Again, things got fixed. My tires got fixed.
Mhm.
I was able to get, my tires are very expensive.
I
and
know they are.
one of my clients, his brother works at a shop where he can get them to me at cost, which is
Really?
very inexpensive.
Wow.
Compared to a $400 tire, I paid a fourth of it.
Wow.
Again, God's just reminding me, I got you, but you
Right.
got to keep coming to me.
You do. You do.
You got to keep coming to me.
So maybe we have that for someone out there today. You know, life will grind you down. I mean, it will grind you. If it isn't like things breaking down, like computers and cars, then family issues.
Relationships.
Because everybody's got something going on. You know, I get together with my mom. She's got her issues. I got my issues. My niece has her issues. And you get all that together, and it can be a bomb if we do not spend that time with the Lord and take time out and just, how important is it? I love that. That's a slogan in our program. How important is it?
That's right.
So I'm glad that you're here.
And what's interesting too is, you know, I'm so busy teaching. I teach about 9 sessions 3 days out of the week,
Wow.
6 sessions all the
Yeah.
other days. You know, I teach handgun self-defense technique. I was at the rifle range on Saturday with my client's new weapon. I went up there. I have no reception, and I was supposed to meet Ashley at a
Then be
certain time.
careful. Yeah.
And then there's no reception. It's compiling all this stress.
Right.
But you know how good God is? My Wednesday sessions, my clients that train on Wednesday said, you know what, we're going to take Wednesdays off. We'll continue training the rest of the week, but not
Mhm.
Wednesdays. And not just 1, not just 2, but 4.
Oh boy.
Shut down on
You're
Wednesday.
kidding.
And I'm getting stressed out. I need the financial. I need this. I need that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, you know what I need to do? Is go back to Bible studies Wednesday night.
There you go. Wow.
Hold on, it gets better.
What?
I'm at Disneyland and I get a client. I don't know if it was Disney. I don't know where I was. I got a call and one of my other clients referred me to another client. Call her up and she's like, I want you to start training my daughter. I said, oh, sounds good. What day are you available? Wednesdays afternoon is best for me.
So does
So
that
not only-
work?
so it works Wednesday afternoon and I'm able to attend Bible
Oh,
study.
isn't that beautiful? So he is good. He is faithful. He will work with us if we work with him.
Exactly. So if you're out there listening
Yeah.
to you and you want to thank you for being a part of the joy that we have in our house, even in the midst of our stress
Yes,
and
we do.
anxiety and our challenges, and in the midst of our praise, because
And
God is good.
Before we go, I know we have some amazing guests coming on. I want to give a shout out to my brother, Osama Afifi. He was, the thing that's so beautiful about him, my mother and I cried when we read the article. He had a whole article.
He was featured, right?
He was featured. He's on, it's called Earshot Jazz, and he's on the cover. But the thing that was so beautiful about it, and what the author of the article was talking about, how he flies under the radar.
Mhm.
Now, he had no idea this guy was here. That was going to call him and do a feature article on him.
And he got the cover.
But he got the cover. But the thing that was so beautiful is that Osama is so consistent.
Mhm.
He's just so not into it for the fluff or for the fame.
Mhm.
He just works with different artists. He has crafted his musicianship. He's very versatile and not trying to get anything major, but just doing his work. He got this big article, and I thought,
That's
thank you, Sama, because that confirmed to me, follow your passion, follow your heart. And the rest will follow. Who
That's right.
cares about the accolades? Who cares about, whether or not, NBC or CBS finds you? If that's supposed to happen, it's supposed to happen. But I'm so proud that we had him on before.
And he's been on the show here.
Yeah,
so
he's
I'm
a
excited to have
musician,
him
but a
come back
family
on.
man. I mean, he's not on tour a lot, but you're right. So we're going to have him back.
Well, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Osama Fifi, congratulations on the cover. We want to thank all of you who are tuning in with us, for being a part of the joy that we have in our house. Know that you can follow us on Facebook, /Joy in My House. You can follow us on Instagram, /Joy in My House. We also have a Twitter page where you can tweet us with any questions or comments for ourselves or our guest. And we're live streaming on any mobile device on www.latalklive.com. And when we come back, we have a great show for you today. Mark Matsumoto is going to come with Jewel, where they'll be sharing their testimony. You're not
Yeah.
going to want to miss.
Really neat
This
couple.
is Joy in My House, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to stay tuned. We're going to come right back.
Hi, this is Starla Quarles, and I'm inviting you to join us every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People. Join us as we discuss the topics that are relevant to today's generational leaders. So don't forget to tune in to The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People, every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Frank,
And this is Ruslan.
inviting you to join us every Thursday, 1 p.m. Pacific, for Cool Classics.
Join us as we discuss classical cool in the arts, what has happened, what is happening, and what will happen.
So don't forget to tune in to Cool Classics
Every Thursday, 1 p.m. Pacific.
exclusively on latalklive.com.
You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Radio Flag, TuneIn Radio, Aha Radio, TiVo Radio, and Apple TV Radio.
Or just watch and listen directly at Cool Classics on latalklive.com.
Classic radio handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure.
This is LA Talk Live, and this is Frank.
And this is Ruslan.
And we are more than just talk.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Join My House, inspirational reality show with a touch of recovery. I'm joined here by author of Shaped by the Master's Hand and
Very
my co-host, Lolita
Glad to be
Robinson.
here. Good to see you.
And good to another day of Join My House.
Yes, it is.
And our in-studio guest, Mark
Yay,
Matsumoto.
Mark.
How you guys doing?
Mark,
He's
I want
so
to thank you
handsome.
for coming on the show. I always like to let our audience and viewers know how we met. We met through Hardcore Fitness, where I train and manage Sam Lira. He's a MMA fighter. You walked into the gym, and for whatever reason, we just started chatting. I think I saw you on Facebook that you had signed with the management company.
Wow.
Told you, oh, I have a management company. You're like, oh, we should have talked. And I said, no, in God's time.
Yeah.
But God had a different plan for us. It wasn't for me to manage you. It was actually for me to have you come on the show and share your story.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to hear what's being managed. So let's get
Well,
going.
What's interesting is you were an iron worker, and it's actually a very good job and probably pays very well.
Very
What's an
well.
iron worker? Like what?
They make the structural steel buildings, like the high rises, from schools, the hospitals, to even downtown LA. Everything, like,
That's good money.
yeah, very good money.
Real good money.
But
yeah.
you're stepping out in faith because your passion is to go pro and fight MMA.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know I should be happy, but okay, all right. I'm gonna be your mother on the show. Why? Why?
And tell us about that. You know, I've been training for 26 years. I've been teaching for 22 years. And it is such a hard life. It's such a disciplined life. And
Yeah.
you can never almost let your guard down almost,
Yeah.
because you have to be prepared to fight
Yep.
at any given call.
Any moment.
Especially when we're trying to come up the ranks. Once you're big, you pick your fights, but towards the beginning. So tell us
Yeah.
why.
Why? Yeah. Why?
I don't know. I do love to fight. I love just martial arts, just learning, just the constant. You're always learning. You can teach people stuff, but you can still learn stuff from somebody who just started like a week ago.
Right.
But I just wanted to be a different fighter this time than who I was before.
Well, what was that before?
Just, I just wanted
Just
to go
street
in there.
brawling?
Yeah, I just want to go in there, bang, and just brawl. with
Really?
everybody.
Oh my God! Man, your spirit is so calm, and that's why I love these testimonies. Go
What's
ahead.
interesting, I know I have a lot of friends, and I have a lot of friends from my past life that are, been locked up, and they've done some crazy stuff. They come and they tell me, hey, Joel, they call me and I go, they come into the gym. Oh, Master Ramirez, that's your title here? And I go, yeah, that's my title here. He's like, oh man, I can throw down. I've been locked up. I get them to spar with one of the pro fighters, and they're getting tagged in the face, and they're like, I want to
Wow.
do this, and they get tagged and hit in the face, and they get knocked out, and then I never hear from them again.
Wow.
And they come at me saying, oh, I know how to fight.
It's a
It's a whole
difference.
different game when you get a technical and a pro.
Yeah.
Wow. Really?
And that's the level that you're aspiring to, because you have done several fights amateur, but now you're ready for pro.
Yep.
Oh, this is exciting. What does that mean, amateur and pros? Go ahead.
Now I get to get paid for it. Get
Okay.
paid to get punched in my
okay.
face.
All right. But like what you just said, what's the difference with a pro? And if you can fight, what's the difference?
Well, it's like saying, I play college football.
Oh.
The openings for college football are this big to run through. Now you go to the NFL, they're this big, and the guys are twice the size. So once you get to the pro level, you get these guys that are very technical, have facilities that train them to their peak, which is very difficult to jump from amateur to pro, which is actually what you're ready for.
Yeah. Yeah, just been training like 2 times a day, 3 times a day, just ready to go. Just waiting for that any given moment. I was kind of hoping I'd come on the show and have some fight news, but just, like you were saying, it's just
It's a grind, and you got to stay
Yeah.
at that high level. So when you do get the opportunity, you're able to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Stay away from. Number one thing for my fighters is keep them away from injuries, because injury is one thing that really sets you back, and overtraining. How do you feel your training is right now? Do you feel you're at a good place in training, or you're getting to that place where you're overtraining? Because we all get there.
Yeah. I was sick last week, but another thing I have to stay away from is like ice cream and cookies, because
Oh wow.
that's the worst right there.
Yeah.
I feel good though. Just training, going to my midweeks, going to church, trying to stay cool with the disciple times, and just I just feel like it's just a lot different feel this time than when I used to train. I got God on my side this time. So
Oh,
Amen.
that's beautiful.
yeah.
Well, we
let's
talk
go
about
ahead,
that, and
yeah.
I talk about that quite a bit. There's, the martial art discipline is very similar to my walk now. I compare it to my walk with Christ. It's, I go to church to hear the word. I go to the gym to work on my body, and then I go to my recovery to work on my emotions. Every position has something to contribute to my development, and it all works for the glory of God, because now you're representing God. And let's let our audience and viewers get to know you a little bit and how you came to Christ.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up, Mark?
Whittier.
Is this too small? Do I need to lift it up?
I don't really know what I'm doing.
There you go. There. Okay.
Whittier, La Habra, and then spent a lot of time in Orange. So that was
Okay.
basically where I was at most of my life.
How did you get connected with hardcore fitness?
Just met Sam and Vince, LA Boxing in Fullerton, and yeah, we were just all a bunch of knuckleheads, just always just going at it, and then they went to another gym and followed them and just kept following them, and then that's how I ended
They
up
have a
there.
loyal following.
Were
They're
you a
really
young
good
guy?
people.
Was this for over years
Yeah, I
that
think
you've
I was
been doing
like
this?
18 when I first went in there. I met those guys.
Well, you don't look like you're 70 now, so but I hear what you're saying, though. Okay, all right.
Well, you grew up in Whittier, La Habra area.
Yeah.
Tell us about your family. Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have like 4 sisters, kind of. I got my one sister I grew up with, but she was like my half sister. She had a different dad. Then I just met my other sister and my dad like about, like 5 years ago.
You're
Wow.
a biological father?
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously you weren't raised with him.
No.
Wow, what was that like?
I don't know. Sometimes I think like it was just normal to me. But then I wonder too if getting so many hits to the brain and maybe all the drugs that I did that I really can't really remember, and for it to function right in my head. But yeah, so I have that sister. Today's her birthday, actually. So
Happy birthday
happy
to
birthday,
her.
Pauline. And then I have another sister, and she's a tattoo artist. And then my mom's boyfriend. So I consider his daughter to be like my sister too.
Okay, so did he raise you? Was he in your life for a while, or
No.
no?
Well,
So your mom raised you.
yeah, my mom basically raised
That's
me.
very good. Okay, shout out to mom. Happy Mother's Day, mom.
Yeah, we have a
Right.
great Mother's Day special, by the way.
All right.
Next
Ooh,
week.
okay.
But I did want to touch on dysfunction. Obviously, you're talking about your mom not being with your father, so there was a separation, and that's got to be very difficult as a young kid to go through that. Tell us about.
And the only
That
boy
part.
too. You were with a lot of girls.
Yeah, I screwed around a lot of girls.
Right, right.
I don't know. It just, my mom was really good. She did whatever she had to do to make sure we were comfortable and happy. And she married a few times after that. So there was somebody always around. But, there was never really a the best connection, I guess you
Right.
could say. But yeah.
Did you get along with the guy? Because I didn't ask you prior. I usually ask people prior to the show if there's anything you don't want to touch on. So I'll just be real generic. Were you close with any of these gentlemen, or did you have trials that came in and out?
Yeah, I was close to a lot of them.
Good.
One of them, he did hit my mom. I do remember that. And it just, that left a bad taste in my mouth after that. That was more like going into my high school years.
And that's what the next question was
Right.
going to go into, the dysfunction. What kind of dysfunction did you witness? And let me tell you, we all have it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So what kind of dysfunction did you witness in your household growing up?
Just my mom was always working late hours, just kind of just stuck at home in front of that TV, in front of that computer screen.
So you were what they call a latchkey kid. You kind of raised yourself.
Yeah, basically.
Where were you in the lineup with your sisters?
My sister was older.
And you're second?
Yeah, I'm second.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. So you guys kind of took care of the other two.
The other two, they weren't. The last one was around, but
Okay, so they were out of so you and your sister were in the house, and the other two came along later. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's clear.
Well, let's talk about your experience. What challenges did you face personally?
Yeah, what were you going through during those times? Did you feel lonely or?
That's why I said, it's hard to even like remember. My grandparents watched this a lot, but I don't know. We were just kind of just stuck in a room, and we were happy. But I'm sure there's more that we could have done. Did more with our time versus just sitting around and being glued to that TV a lot of times.
Were you a church-going family?
We went to church, but it was just go on Sunday. And from what I know now, from then, it's just like I always thought, you can do whatever you want throughout the week, and then go to church on Sunday.
And you're good.
All is good.
And that's the truth. That's what people are doing.
Yeah. And not know anybody in the church at that time. It was just kind of you came in with your family, and then you left. So
Christ didn't really. There were cute little stories, right?
Exactly.
David and the Goliath on the slingshot and the coloring page, but it wasn't really. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Well, during your high school years, your formative years, did you struggle with any challenges, any addictions, any acting out? Because especially being
when you got
raised by the TV, we tend to feel like we can just do anything. And like you said, as long as I go to church on Sunday, I'm good. What challenges did you face during your adolescent years?
Oh man, I was a knucklehead in high school. We get in trouble by the police all the time. We got arrested a few times. We did a lot of drugs. I barely made it out of high school. I think I passed with like a D+. There was like wait to that final day to see if I graduated or not.
Well, okay. So how did you get from out of the room into all this stuff? Did you have some friends or buddies in middle high school that took you into that, or just met people at high school and started?
Yeah, what's funny is because my mom sent us to a Christian high school, and those kids, they weren't really the greatest of kids, and they got a lot of money, and so anything pretty much went. It was, some days they'd buy BB guns, airsoft guns, samurai swords, and like you drive like next to each other and like try to hit each other with the samurai swords, and obviously the cops didn't like that too much.
Well, you're saying a whole lot. I think that we've had people on here who've gotten molested and have find problems in the youth group and stuff. We're not poo-pooing youth group in church, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's safety, huh?
Right.
Exactly.
You went to a Christian high school. We're not going to say.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean parents have got to be involved, huh?
Exactly.
Wow. Okay.
Well, let's talk when you finally feel, you're going through your high school years. You barely graduate high school.
Are you in a gang?
No.
Okay, just hooligans.
Yeah.
That's my boy. That's my boy Bruno Morris. And stop calling yourself that, Bruno. I love you. You're not a hooligan.
You're going through this adolescence. You get out of high school. You barely graduate. When do you finally come to a point where you feel like God's important? You know God. You've heard of God, but you don't have that personal relationship. What got you to that place?
I'd say it has to be Jewel. She's the one that got me to that point. Just because these 10 past years when I was ironworking, even then I was doing drugs and drinking while I was up on the iron. And
what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of craziness. There's a lot involved with the ironworkers. Good guys, but we have to keep on going for that thrill, I guess you can say.
You're searching for something, and I think I always say you're searching for that God-shaped hole, and you try to fill it with drugs, alcohol, women, success, money, and nothing really. Because
you had
really.
Money, right? The money started coming in with the iron.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I know we're going to have his intended other coming on, so I don't know whether I should ask about the relationship now or when they come on.
No, we're going to touch on it now because I think it's important because
how they met, huh?
Before how they met is something happened where you met Christ.
Right.
Let's talk about that.
I wanted to share a verse that just basically reminded me of Jewel. It's 1 Peter 3, and it says, "In the same way, you wives must accept the authority of your husbands. Then even if some refuse to obey the good news, your godly lives will speak to them without any words. They will be won over by observing your pure and reverent lives."
Wow.
So
that brings tears to my eyes. That's what you're saying about your wife?
That's basically what happened.
Well, y'all got a marriage ministry right there. I'm not kidding. Are you serious? Why? Okay,
well,
share
let's touch on that.
Yeah.
Just, she started changing. She just started listening to me. She started being loving towards me.
So she was saved first, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just every morning she sent me Bible verses, a picture of her and the kids, just constant just showing love. But prior to what you were asking me was I was going out, I was still popping pills, and I was just, enjoying the nightlife a little too much, and just passed out. And I came home, it was about 5 o'clock, and she had the 2 kids in the truck ready to go. She had everything packed up, and she was ready to leave me. So
she'd had enough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was that point of like, okay, I better,
You better shape up.
Now
Yeah.
let me, because I like to try and keep it for the fans out there. She showed you the love then. At this point, she was showing you the scriptures, and then after a while, she had to set a boundary for herself and the babies.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's when she decided, okay, I love you, but you need to do what you need to do, and I need to take care of me and the kids.
Right.
Okay.
And let's talk
So
about what
that's-
did you do
yeah.
different?
After that,
Yeah.
I was still, I stopped, cut everything cold turkey.
Did she leave? Totally leave?
No, she didn't.
Okay, you asked her, please give me another chance.
Yeah, because
okay.
she used to try to leave on me before, and it was just me and her. But I never believed her. But since she had the kids, I was like, oh no,
This might be it's getting too real.
Ruh-roh.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I would try to be supportive of her when she was going to her Bible studies. She was trying to do. She'd want me to go to church, and it'd be like about an hour in. I'm like, are you kidding me? This isn't over yet? Because I'm used to like the 50 minutes and we're done. Let's
Right.
get out of here. But the church that she started going to, North Orange County Church of Christ, it was just more involved. And so then,
I bet you were squirming in your seat
I
because I'm sure
was.
the Holy Spirit was like,
Yeah.
"Hello, brother."
I was like, I hope my kids make some noise right now so I can just
wow.
leave.
I bet. Yeah.
But yeah, I just watched her. She just kept growing and becoming a different woman. And she finally got baptized on the beach. It was sometime in July. And I was like, wow. I was like, so that's all you got to do? And I met my buddy Chris. And he's like, you want to study the Bible with me? And that was basically it. Then a couple months later, I was baptized.
Oh,
Wow.
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then the Lord just started working in your life, still working in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing we have really tried to reiterate here on this show is that there's no before and after. It's all during. Christ comes in, but He's always working in our lives.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't arrive. We
So
definitely
when
don't
did
arrive.
I don't want to get ahead because
No, we're right on this because
yeah,
you committed your life to Christ. But as I always say, I'm a believer in Christ, and I still have challenges. I still have
brother.
issues. I'm still digging deeper and still having to go and
yeah.
humble myself. You give your life to Christ. Your wife already has been baptized. What challenge did you face after that? Because now we're having to live a certain life at a different standard.
Yeah.
Not the standard of the world. So no more drinking, no more partying, no more.
How did the Lord do that?
Let's talk
Did He
about that.
deliver you
Yeah.
overnight? Take the
Yes,
desire.
it was basically overnight. It was like, okay, that's it, And so going to work was a different scenario. It wasn't like no more going to the bar after work.
Right.
No more taking my pills. At work, none of that.
And
Basically.
you had to get persecution from your homeboys. I know you did.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we laugh at that, but that's what, when you come out and you go back into that system, you get a lot of persecution.
Yeah.
Did you get persecuted by the fellas?
Yeah, because every other word I use was like F word, this, all of these, just use them like a comma or a punctuation, and so they're like, "Why are you so quiet?" and "What's with you? Who are you?" That was basically it right there. And
Well, God was tugging on your heart. God was
Changing,
letting you know
yeah.
that change is required, submission is required. And it's interesting because you started off saying that at the beginning. Now your training is different.
yeah,
Your growth is different in MMA now.
yeah.
Well, how did the Lord, because I know we're going to bring Jewel on. I can't wait to hear her aspect of it. But how did the Lord take you from being an iron worker to fighting? Was it always something in your heart you wanted to do, but you just didn't?
Yeah, it was I always like fighting, but I'd get hurt a lot or just wouldn't train right. But it was just right after I got baptized, my change of heart for ironworking kind of just flipped, because I made that my God for like such a long time.
Right.
Always chasing the hook. When's the next building gonna start up, and where are we going after this? And so it just changed just like that. I started not really caring for it as much, and so. And even Sam, so I remember would ditch work sometimes, and I go with Sam to rain.
Is that your
Sam is my fighter, yeah.
Oh.
He'd go to rain or train with him. He'd prefer to go train than to go to work.
Right. And I was talking to him, we were driving, and he's like, "Man, your life's depressing. You work 10 hours a day, and then you just go home and do nothing." I was like,
And his life's exciting. He gets beat up. Man, women, I don't know why we think that we are so different. Okay. All right.
But what's interesting is that you've given your life to Christ, but you still face challenges.
Yeah.
Yes, God delivered you from your addictions and the acting out, but inside He was still stirring in your heart, which is the emotional part that sometimes doesn't get talked about. That emotional part is still a process.
Yeah.
Yes, our minds are renewed, and yes, we don't have the desire maybe to act out with drugs and alcohol, women, or success, but our heart takes a little bit longer to catch up, I think. For me, at least, it was. And now you were doing things different. We're going to bring on Jewel, and she's going to talk about how you guys met, because it's a very fascinating story. It really is. And
I
how
just
God
want to
is
ask him
working.
one more question, because you said something. I don't want you to. You just set up something really nice. The emotional realm. Were you missing your dad, or realizing the emptiness of not having him in your life, or were there healings that needed to be done with your mom?
You know, when I met my dad, I was telling my wife, like, I was like, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna punch him in the face, or like, you know, how's this all gonna go
Or
down?
am I going to hug him, right?
Yeah, and you know, he's a very loving man now. He's very much into my kids' lives, and so it's awesome to see, you know, just how things kind of just turn full circle, basically.
And your mom too. Is your mom with us still?
Yeah.
And she sounded like you were always down with her.
Yeah, mama's boy, big time. She's watching the babies right now too.
Oh,
So
that's so cool. Okay, so you had set up such a good. You don't want to let it go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joy in my house. When we come back, we're going to have Jules Matsumoto
Yeah.
going to be on. You're not going to want to miss. This is Joy in my house.
Joy in my house, joy in my house, joy. I got joy.
We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Hey, shout us out. What's the count? I'm your host. I am WDC. Tune in to WDC Radio on LA Talk Live every Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time for sickle cell trait awareness, lupus, bullying, mental health, and all different aspects of life. So tune in to WDC Radio right here on LA Talk Live. Also, you can listen to us on iTunes, Live 365, YouTube, and Ustream. And don't forget Apple TV and Roku right here on LA Talk Live, where we're more than just talk. Shout us out. What's the count?
Welcome, this is Greg, inviting you to tune in Saturday, 6 p.m. to the Mystic Ballroom. All vinyl most of the time, and we'll cover psychedelic, soul, garage, and much, much more. Myself and the Young Mogul will bring you this every Saturday at 6 p.m. exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio, R&B, Live 365 Radio, Flag TuneIn Radio, AHA Radio, TV Radio, and Apple TV Radio. Or you can listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio, handcrafted for yours and mine listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
My clothes ain't all fancy, and my car ain't brand new, but there is joy in my house.
Hello, I'm Joel Ramirez
And I'm Lolita Robinson Coppage, and welcome to Joy in My House
on latalklive.com. Inspirational radio
with a touch of recovery.
a reality show where nothing is left unsaid,
And no one is insignificant who says it.
exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV.
Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Joy in My House, inspirational reality show with a touch of recovery. A reality show where nothing is left unsaid.
And no one is insignificant who shares.
I'm joined here by my co-host and author of Shaped by the Master's Hand, Lolita
Glad
Robinson.
to be here and very touched already.
Our in-studio guest, Mark, and his wife, Jewel
Yes.
Matsumoto. Welcome to the show.
Beautiful. Well,
As we left the show, we were talking about Mark's testimony, and he was sharing how he came to Christ, and it was because of you, Jewel, who were baptized first, and he witnessed your walk and wanted what you had, so he then turned and gave his life to Christ and was baptized.
and I wanted to say a little something
ahead.
to her real quick too. I mean, what he said was a mouthful, because I talked to, as they said, the older women, which ministers to the younger women. But the fact that your husband said that about you, I don't think I have not run across a man who has said that about a wife. And it really touched my heart, because that's what the scripture talks about, is through our behavior. It's not through what we're saying or what we're doing. And I've been ministering to some women who are married. And for him to say that to you, I think that is that's the Academy Award of Christianity for women. So I just wanted to tell you that's a mouthful for your husband to say that about you. Okay? So.
And I have to concur and piggyback on that because he was not saved. He did not know Christ with having a personal relationship, but it was through your actions that he's decided he needed that.
Yeah.
So let's let our audience and viewers get to know you a little bit, Jewel. Where did you grow up?
I moved all over Southern California. I lived in Mississippi for a little bit. So
how'd you get to Mississippi?
Junior high, I was really acting up. So my dad asked me if I wanted to go move with my aunt in Mississippi. So I lived out there for a little bit because I got expelled from school.
What?
I was getting in a lot of trouble.
So what's your family? I'm sure who else going to ask you about your siblings and stuff.
I have 5 brothers, all half. So I have 2 white brothers, 3 full Filipino brothers, and a half white and half black sister.
Wow. Okay, that says a lot right there. You talking about, you got a lot of dynamics going on.
Yeah.
Not only racially, but culturally, the whole bit.
Yeah, so I grew up for a little bit with my 2 white brothers and my half black and half white sister.
So how was that? Are they all well, no, of course they couldn't all be from the same mother. How ridiculous. So we're not going to go into...
Well, my mother's white, so the 2 white ones and the half black, half white are from the same mom.
Okay, okay, all right, okay.
The one I grew up in the same household with.
Okay, very good, okay.
Well, what I wanted to touch on was what were some of your challenges and struggles? Like you talked about, you were getting expelled from school. What stirred that up? What stirred that acting out?
I think when I was about 11, my mom, she was raising us, my 2 brothers and sister, single. So she would work, and when I was about 11 or 12, I'm not sure, around there, she had like a midlife crisis, decided to quit her job, and we moved out to the desert. And she started I was alone a lot before that, but then she just started moving around all over the place, and I was in a lot of different situations, and my mom, she moved in with a lot of boyfriends. She actually left my brothers in the condo, and she just took me and my sister, and we were just moving around with different guys. So I've seen a lot and
experienced a
lot, and
okay. It's okay, sweetheart. You know what? Thank you for coming. It's okay.
And we always talk about your transparency and your vulnerability.
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy to share the things that have happened to us, especially when it takes our innocence away and it damages us so much. So we don't have to go further into that. But when that happens, we hope that you out there listening and viewing are being touched, because this is not an easy thing to do. But we're doing it, or you're doing it, to hopefully bring some hope and inspiration to you out there. So I hope that you really value her heart.
Yeah, and the brokenness. And Mark.
Mark here supporting his wife in her hurt. You go through these challenges, and again, it damages you, it hurts you, it takes your innocence away, so you start acting out. You have these, it's a snowball effect.
Your father was not around in the house with you?
Yeah, not at the time. And then, but I think I kind of lost it, and my dad came to get me, because I just had kind of like a meltdown when I was out in the desert with them, and my dad finally, because he's always trying to pick me up, and he was trying to be involved, but my mom kind of
isolated you.
In a way, in a sense, you know, we moved really far, so I moved in with him, and he was trying to make up, so he kind of didn't make up for all the time he wasn't with me, so he kind of gave me no rules.
Okay, so he was trying to be the fun dad to your buddy, I love you, and let's, without the parental aspect of it.
Exactly. So
What about your sister? She was left with your mother?
Yeah, because we don't have the same dad.
Okay, so we don't want to get into her story. Okay, very good. So you with your dad.
Yeah, so
you had these challenging times, and again, without that direction, without that supervision, you started acting out.
With him. Living with him, right?
You end up, what did you go from there?
Well, when I lived with him, he loved me so much, so in his way that he knew how to best, so I started when I was in high school. I started partying a lot, got into a lot of drugs, dropped out of school, ended up in a. Eventually, after I was 18, I was still living with him, but I ended up in a. So I was doing a lot of drugs, having a lot of relationships. Ended up in a strip club, and that's where I met Mark.
Oh, you
And
guys,
I wanted to touch on that,
Wow,
'cause
this is so touching.
how amazing that even in the strip club, God was still there because you met Mark there.
Yep.
Now, Mark, I got to ask you, where were you at that time? Because at that time, you were the DJ.
Yeah.
And where were you at that time meeting your future wife?
I don't know, 'cause she was asking me about that, and I was DJing in like the strip clubs for like about a year. I started like when I was 18. I knew a lot of the managers, so they got me in there on the low. So everything was cash, and I was just in there just to make some money, basically. And I really liked DJing at the time, so that was basically where I was at.
Now, how was the meeting between you two?
Yeah, how'd you two?
How did that
yeah.
relationship
How did that happen?
blossom?
I don't know. I just looked at her and I was like, "Hey," and then I remember
because there
seeing
had
her-
to be there were other dancers.
Yeah,
I mean, there were, and everybody was exposed, so
yeah.
there had to have been something you saw beyond her physical.
It was the next day when I asked her. I was like, "You remember my name?" And she's like, "Yes." And I was like, "All right, she's a keeper."
Oh, wow! But you're right. You said a mouthful when you said that. That the Lord had a plan even in the midst of that. And that's why I think sometimes parents, I am, again, talking to parents who are so freaked out that their kids are going AWOL, they're doing all this, but he is so powerful. He still has a plan.
That's right. And he did for you guys, because after that, you guys started dating. But what I thought was interesting, it wasn't an overnight thing, because you started going through some challenges. You ended up in a mental institution because you were just having a breakdown. It was so difficult. Tell us what happened then, and then how Mark intervened.
Well, after we started dating, you know, I quit dancing, and I tried to. I quit. So I fell in love with him. And I really,
Did he ask you to stop, or you just felt the conviction yourself?
it was something we had to talk about.
Well, it's good money. You know, I'm gonna be honest. We've talked to some other ladies who have come out of I understand he gave up iron. I mean, there's a lot of money in dancing, right? So that had to be really kind of, I don't think anybody's up there for the fun of it. I mean, it's financial. So that must have been hard to let that go.
Yes. Yeah.
So you let that go.
Yeah, I let it go, and I was trying to keep, do right, and I don't know, when you fall in love, I just started feeling like I wasn't, all my past, I just felt like
You weren't good enough.
Yeah, exactly.
You probably felt a lot of shame.
A lot of shame, a lot of guilt. I thought it was, so I stayed up, so I started really, really started coming down on me heavy, and I was awake for 4 days, no drugs. I was just driving around to everyone, my family's friend's house, kept driving around. I kept hearing things like, "You're gonna die." I just felt like I was gonna die, and I was just trying to tell everyone that I was so sorry, and I loved them, and just forgive me, and I just wanted forgiveness. And my sister-in-law called the
Were you
ambulance.
guys married at this point?
No.
Okay.
This is just
Okay, so it's your boyfriend's sister at this point.
well, my brother's actually
your brother's
wife at the time.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So
She called the ambulance.
yeah, she called the ambulance. She took me to the hospital. I mean, the ambulance took me to the hospital, and then transported me to the mental institution, because I was just
the anxiety and the
4 days. Yeah, when you're awake
Yeah.
for that, it was hard for me to
Oh, wow.
process anything. And
Yeah.
Mark was by my side, and he was talking. He was like, why don't you come stay with me? I'll take care of you. And I was, I've never lived with a guy, and I was just, but I still to this day, I think it's God that was talking to me, and he was just like, go with him. I just have go with him. It's gonna be okay. And then my dad came in, and he was totally happy with it. He's like, sure, whatever you need, and he was still supportive. But
And what happened then, Mark? Because I
Uh,
think this is an interesting part.
What happened?
After a couple days, this ring.
Oh yeah, I asked her to
Yeah.
You just
marry
knew?
me when we were in there.
I set it up for you. I set it
I
up.
blew it.
To you. I pitched it to you.
You had the nerve to get on your knee and ask her. You know?
Told you, it's all those punches to the head.
No,
Just
it's
forgetting
not. But,
everything.
you know what, but there's a
But
lot
what's
going on.
interesting, yes.
You got a lot of emotions going on. This
Yeah.
is not, you're telling your whole life. To us, we hear these stories, but this is you living this again.
That's
so
right.
we understand.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I asked her to marry me, and that was basically it. We got married like less than a year later, and here we are now, like 8 years, going on 9 years pretty soon.
Oh my gosh.
I like
when
to
did
say
Christ
10 or
come
20.
in? When did Christ come in?
And that's the next question
Yeah.
is, when did you realize that you needed Christ? You found a man who loved you. You loved him. He was willing to commit to you and marry you, even in a situation didn't seem very promising at the time in your condition, but had a lot of faith in you. You say yes, you guys get married. When did you realize that Christ needed to be in the center of this relationship in order for it to continue?
Or in her life, yeah.
You know, I think it was that time in that hospital, because I know God gave me enough strength. Like when I was talking to you yesterday, I was thinking back on it. I was like, I know God gave me strength to be able to leave and have strength to not go back to any of that stuff. Like God,
Because it's a pull, yeah.
Yeah, he put his mom, my mother-in-law now. She was an angel, counseling me, because I would talk to her about. I was very open. She knew everything, so she was right there counseling me and
Was
helping.
she a prayer woman? Was she praying for you, or?
She's definitely a woman of the Lord, but she's
Amen.
just a very strong woman too, and she was really helping.
Well, that's interesting. Coming up on Mother's Day, and we talk about how God puts people in our lives to give us a little bit of direction, a little bit of hope. Lolita was that for me. I was done. I was so tired of being sick and tired, and Lolita led me to Christ. Well, this woman, which was Mark's mother, gave you that grace that I feel Lolita gave me, and showed me the first glimpse of God's grace.
Awesome.
She loved me and spoke into
Still
my
do.
life, even though I was so broken. I was such a mess. I was an awful person, to be honest with you, and yet she showed me that grace. And you were probably feeling the same way, but yet Mark's mom still showed you that love and grace, which gave you a little bit of hope, which gave you some direction. But that wasn't the only person, because somebody else came in your life
who else came
that
in?
started leading and reading to you
And
about
that's
the
good
Bible.
for a mother-in-law too. See, a lot of shout out to your mom, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who was the other person?
Well, so we were married for about 4 or 5 years, and I got pregnant with my oldest daughter, London. She's 5, and I realized that I needed more people in my life, because I really isolated myself, keeping away from everyone. Just really kept trying to keep busy doing work. So I sought out a mom's group, a Christian mom's group, and I met Bibi.
Oh,
And she really studied with me, and I was just ready, I guess.
is that beautiful? Bibi. Bibi was another mom.
Bibi, she was another mom.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
obviously knew the Lord.
She knew the Lord, and she helped me. She was my
She
other
led
little
you to
angel.
Christ. Did she lead you to Christ?
Yep, she led me
you
to Christ. Yes, definitely.
You think, Jewel, you're precious, and I know this is not easy for you to do. Thank you for opening up, because you're helping other people. You're not just talking to me and Joel and Richard here. You're talking to other people out there. We don't know one person who has had a life, maybe a sordid past, feel shame and feel not worthy. And you're talking about how God came and reached you, so you're helping. Thank you.
And the same way you helped Mark come to Christ, you don't know who's listening and viewing who you're helping come to Christ now. And same for you, Mark. You're here sharing and being vulnerable in your relationship, and it's not an easy thing. And I'm learning from you. You're here also helping me, but let alone all the people that are viewing and watching this.
Yeah, because you and Ashley are a young couple.
Yeah.
They might be someone who...
Exactly. We have the same
together.
struggles.
Yeah.
Same struggles. And us being the men that we are, I think we struggle with the same issues. I don't have to say it. We know it. So for you out there who are listening and viewing, I hope that you engage with us. I hope that you find us on Facebook, link up with Joy in My House, like the page, and receive up-to-date lineups of our guests and information, especially something as profound as finding God, as profound as finding Christ and changing our lives. Because you gave your life to Christ, you were baptized, and then so did you, Mark, and somebody came into your life to teach you about God. Tell us who that was for you.
That was Chris. I met him when I started, going along with whatever it is she wanted to do, just being supportive at a Christmas party. And it was a church Christmas party, and this guy was there, and you could tell his nose was broken. I was like, hey, this guy, I think he's like a fighter or something like that. So we started talking a lot, and yeah, he was all into fighting. He just trains a lot, and he's a cop actually, which is funny because I never liked cops before.
Okay, see, God has a real sense.
God's a real sense. That's right.
Yes. And I wanted to meet up with him just to train, basically. And so after her getting baptized, I was like, hey, you want to meet up, study the Bible, or go train? And he's like, yeah, let's study the Bible. It wasn't what I wanted to hear, but I was like, all right.
See, God uses that. God uses our desires to lead us more towards Him when we submit.
And He knows just who to use.
Exactly.
See, the broken nose got you all excited. I'm like, okay.
And then, so he started the Bible study with me, and then another guy came in, Kenny, and then 4 more people came in after that. So it was just an outpour of like
a support group system, and you had the moms. You had other mothers, BB and other mothers who got together, and this is dynamic.
Well, it's amazing because God was very apparent in working in your lives. It was so easy to witness that God was working in your lives, and He didn't stop there, because He then gave you a heart for you now to be a fitness instructor. And you also have a blog out, and I wanted to touch on that.
But let's not forget Sydney. When did she come?
Just about almost 3 years ago. She'll be 3 in June.
She'll be 3.
Yeah, June.
Okay,
yeah.
and I also, because that's a big thing, but you're also homeschooling your daughters.
Yeah, I'm homeschooling both of them.
That's so beautiful. That is so beautiful. Okay, now you can go
well, God
into
gives us,
it's beautiful.
God gives us a talent to then, if we submit to Him, to use for His glory. So He gave you some talents, some drives, which is now you're applying to the raising and education of your children. But again, you didn't stop there, because you have a blog now, and you're talking about maybe, well, I want to know, what is it that you're talking about in your blog? What's this blog for and about?
It's a health and fitness blog. I share a little bit of, it's Aim High Fitness Mama. I'm trying to,
what's it called?
Aim High Fitness Mama.
Oh, that's so cute. That's great. That's great.
So I'm just thank you. I'm just trying to incorporate all my healthy living. I'm really, a big advocate for, God made our bodies so amazing, just the organic, just the natural stuff. So I'm just really trying to share some fun recipes, all the workouts I do, incorporating the kids, because that's what we do a lot now. So trying to share it with others.
And see, Satan meant it for evil. He tried to use you to use your body for his kingdom, but you have triumphed over that. And now the Lord is using you to use the temple for health, wholeness, and being a mom and a wife. This is awesome.
And it just didn't stop with you, because Mark, you have a heart for the homeless.
Yeah.
Now, there was a situation that stirred that up. Tell us that story before we close out.
It was just recently we're going to move out of our condo, and she met this guy at the storage we're going to put our stuff at, and a nice guy, and she said he was hungry. I was like, well, let's make him a sandwich, and let's, because he hooked us up on a price, basically. Went back, and he wasn't there. And there's this homeless guy I always see, like, in La Mirada, La Habra area, and I was like, let's go get him. And so we went down beach, flipped a U to chase him. He was crossing the street. He went into Jack in the Box. I was like, man, we got to keep chasing him. So I got her and the kids in the car with me. We pull into Jack in the Box. I go in there, and he's in there yelling at everybody, telling them, I'm going to kill you guys if you guys don't give me my water. And the people inside were leaving. They're scared. So I told the people at Jack in the Box, I'm like, let me buy this guy some water. I'll get him out of here, And I took him outside, gave him his water, gave him that sandwich that she made, Jewel made. And he just started pouring himself out to me. He started crying. He was like right in my face. I think he wanted to beat me up too a little bit. And but it was crazy. It was amazing. Just to see, that's what's going on in our hometowns. And
so God tugged on your heart for that, because you were just at Skid Row the other weekend.
Yeah.
And we were friends on Facebook, and I saw that, and I thought that was
what were you doing?
Very profound.
I just asked a bunch of people like a week before, like, hey, I'm gonna head out to Skid Row, because I was supposed to be in LA that night. And just people helped out. Had H Bling, they gave me some socks. My buddy, he gave me some shoes. Some people gave me some toothbrushes, toothpastes, and I went and bought a whole bunch of cases of water. I just felt like I wanted to go pass it out over there. And just driving through there, I was like, man, it's, we have so much, and we can just do so much too, as like just as a group, as people, we can help out. And so I was a little sick, so I went to the mission and I gave them all the water cases, and they were happy. But there's this guy outside I saw, and he didn't have shoes on, and I went up to him and was like, hey, I got some shoes here and some socks. And I couldn't really understand him. He was kind of off in his own world.
Yeah,
but
he understood that.
He understood. He was happy. He went to give me a hug, and I was like, hey, I'm taken. But then I was like, nah, I'm just kidding, I'm sick. So I gave him like a fist bump, because I don't want to be like, okay, here comes my virus with all this good stuff I'm trying to give you guys. But
what's interesting is that God is now really working on your guys' heart to give back.
Yeah.
And that's so profound, because Lolita, in the beginning, like she said, we're here. God's kingdom is so much different than the world.
Yeah.
We're here to serve, not to be served.
That
is what you guys are doing. You guys are now serving and not being served. And I thought that was very, very profound, because God is still working in your lives.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not a neat bow. It's not a packaged bow, but He's taken what Satan meant for evil for both of your lives, and He's definitely turned it around. And if you keep on the path as you're doing, He's going to even add more. But just a little bit that you guys have built upon. That's what I think Will is saying.
And that is amazing.
That is amazing.
If you guys want to find out more information regarding Mark and his wife Jules, I want you to go to aimhighfitnessmama.com. You'll find out more information, link up with some of the fitness training that you're doing, find out what Mark is doing with his fighting. He's signed with the management company. Fighting Pro is his next step. And also with your ministries and how you guys are developing your ministries and wanting to give back.
And being parents to those babies. That's the most important thing, that you're present. You're able to do with your parents. My sons are doing more than what I could do. So you are taking a step from what your mom and your dad are trying to do, and you're
breaking that cycle.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, breaking that cycle.
Yeah.
The show is coming to a close. We like to ask this of all of our guests. We'll start with you, Jules. What does joy in my house mean to you in today's day and age, through all your struggles, challenges, and also through the great stuff? What does joy in my house mean?
It's definitely just always keeping God first. Whatever I do, just having God first in my life, putting Him before anything, and that's the joy in my house.
Amen.
That's beautiful.
Amen. Mark, I got to ask you the same thing.
To me, it's just, you're such a light that people want to look inside and, hey, what's going on in there? I want to be a part of that. And it's just God's Spirit just, glowing in you. And it's just an attractive thing. And that's what I feel like joy in my house is.
That's beautiful. Amen.
Well, ladies
Thank
and
you
gentlemen,
for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Jewel for coming on. Mark for coming on. This is Joy in the
Thank
House.
you, Richard.
The producer, Richard. I want you to catch us live every Sunday here at noon on www.latalklive.com. Next week, we'll have Anthony Sanchez and Carla Flores for our Mother's Day special with a life-changing story you're not going to want to miss, full of hope and inspiration. This is Joy in my house. I want you guys to have a blessed day. We'll see you live next Sunday at noon here on www.latalklive.com.
Thank you for tuning into LA Talk Live and the Talk Live Broadcast Network, original reality radio, handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk. Stay tuned.